Last year, the series against the San Antonio Spurs set fire to a rivalry that will probably be alive for many years to come. It was a 7-game series. Many games came down to the wire. Ultimately, I do think the right team won last year. I believe the Spurs were better than us last season. However, this season, I think at full strength, the Venom would be at least on par, if not maybe even better than San Antonio. However, we're not at full strength and likely will not be for the entirety of this series, maybe until the very end if it remains tied again. If you look at these starting lineups, it still looks pretty close. But the difference definitely comes in the quality of the bench for each team. Because Jarris Walker's out and we're starting Jack Finley, our bench is really thin. And so there are certainly weak spots to attack and expose for San Antonio, where I don't think it's quite as easy for us when they've got a 7'4" center. They've got Denny Avdia and they've got Devin Vassell coming off the bench. I think this is going to be a very good series once again. I am worried, though, that this injury could cost us an extended postseason run. The Spurs team is very good. I did consider making a lineup change, maybe starting J.R. Wall just based on the fact that Jonathan Outlaw is so tall. But ultimately, I think Connor Irving is still the best matchup for him. We're going to have Greg Weber guarding Steph Castle. I know that last year it didn't go quite well for us, but Greg Weber got a lot better from last year. Steph Castle actually got a little bit worse from last year in the offseason progression, so we're going to give him another chance here. Finley's going to be guarding Carter Bryant. And, of course, the superstar matchups at point guard and center, they will be guarding each other. This should be a very close series once again. And if it does go to a 6th or 7th game, there's a chance Jarris could rejoin the rotation and give us a late surge. Will we even need it, though? Will we even last that long? Let's find out. While we might not have the health advantage, we do have home court advantage, which hopefully can stem us over. I'm hoping for maybe a Game 3, Game 4 return from Jarris. He's been out for a while now. It is getting closer to that time as we have some fans phasing through each other in the crowd. That's how hyped they are to get this series underway. Such an incredible back and forth last season. What are we in store with? We've got a new starter, Jack Finley. Will San Antonio be able to take advantage of that? Let's find out. Here is Nixon. Got a great look from above the break there. Couldn't hit it, and Wemby running the court gets the basket. Harper left alone for too long. Jack Finley had some problem getting through some screens. Nixon, second time's the charm, and it is. First points of round 2 for the Venom. Wemby, he's going to isolate. Going right at the big man, Burke. Couple of pumps, not going to get him any room at all. Burke stayed home and got the block with the shot clock violation. Getting a screen. Nixon fires off the dribble. Long 2 won't fall. Carter Bryant alone in the corner for the triple. Gives San Antonio an early 8-3 lead. Castle right at Weber. Gets to the rack. We are trusting Weber. I know last year we had to go to Jarris Walker midway through that series, but Weber is much improved, and Steph Castle did regress a bit in the athleticism in the offseason. We're hoping that it's not going to be a big problem for us. If it is, we'll have to make the adjustments. Holy moly! Connor Irving up top for the alley-oop over 2 San Antonio defenders. Let's go. Wemby responds, getting a tough basket inside against Burke. Finley feeds the cutting Nixon, who lays it in easily with his left. Harper, Outlaw back to Harper. Nixon playing a bit too far off on that one. The passing gave San Antonio the great shot. Pick and pop. Irving. Money from three. Answers it right back. We've got ourselves a back and forth first quarter here halfway through. 17-14 in favor of the Spurs. Burke trying to back down Wemby. Couldn't really get good leverage there, but the shot goes in regardless. Outlaw with it. Finds Castle. That's probably the man in the starting lineup you want taking threes. But he's certainly capable of hitting them. Campbell. Caught a defender going under, and we know he can shoot the rock. Gets his first round 2 points. Wemby just inside the three-point line. Jumper is smooth. San Antonio maintains a narrow lead here. Irving for the tie. Gets it to go. His second three ball here of the quarter. Feeding the post. Will Burke. He's got two small guys on him. Does not matter. You're not bringing a big to help. Burke will score it. From the post, a good feed on the cut. R.J. Barrett, the recipient of a perfectly placed Wemby pass. Burke thought about going for a fadeaway, instead finds a wide open Jalen Williams. As the Venom have now taken a bit of a lead. We've got the last possession here of the quarter. Finley trying to go to town on Castle. That's a tough defender, but he backs up beyond the three-point line, drilling it from the corner to extend the lead to 7 as the first quarter expires. Now into the second, 33-26. Rocco Zakarski, that could be a tough guy to deal with at the backup center. You know, you expect a little bit of relief when Wemby's off the court, and certainly skill-wise you get it, but not size-wise. Here he gets the ball inside, and Nixon went for the steal because that was really the only chance of getting the stop, and it left Rocco wide open. Irving, I mean, not much in the way of defense on that drive. Connor, another shot. This time looked good, but it just rattles out. Vassell, ooh, look at the feed inside two. Denny Avdia, perfect lead pass there. Harper to Rocco, making use of that size mismatch here. But Jalen Williams a bit more agile, able to sneak past Zakarski on the other end. We're all tied up at 37 apiece. That's a tough shot for Weber. Well beyond the three-point line with a decent contest. San Antonio in transition finds Harper inside to Avdia. J.R. Wall on the defense, but couldn't bother the shot enough to force the miss. You got a double big pick and pop here. Will Burke rattles home a jumper. Jay Will with the assist. Pick and pop, this time San Antonio's turn. From the baseline, a couple pumps. Wemby gets blocked by Burke, and that's another shot clock violation. Burke doing an excellent job defensively here. Now he's going to face up on Wemby. Tough shot, and Wemby gets his instant revenge with a block of his own. Pushing ahead, Outlaw. This is a tall team, man. They've pretty much almost always got 2 7-footers on the floor at all times. We have one on our entire team. Outlaw gets it again, but this time Will Burke there on the defense. Another block for the Fortress, who finds Jalen Williams somehow able to get that shot over Wemby. Wemby just kind of missed time with the jump there, and Harper using the space created by Victor to get the easy layup. Weber finds Nixon, catch and shoot jumper is pure, tying us back up. This first half is very reminiscent of what we saw last season. Both teams trading punches. Neither team really looking to have any sort of advantage over the other here early. Solid pull-up look from Nixon, couldn't hit it. And it's Dylan Harper on the other end using the dribble moves to get by Nixon. Irving. He's going to pull up from the elbow. Right with Wemby on his hip. Decided not to go to the rim against Wemby. Probably a wise choice. Nixon Makes it a 1-point ball game in transition. This time he's going to find Burke, and he puts it down with 2 hands. 12 first half points for Burke so far. Wemby gets Will Burke going under a screen. Decides to just pull the trigger for 3 more points. Finley off the great Will Burke screen. Had all the time he needed to fire one in. Nixon, that's a good look at 3. Couldn't quite get his feet totally set, but he didn't need to. Wemby in the post. Blocked again by Will Burke. Locking down a painted area near you. This time he's pushing the ball ahead to Connor Irving, who gets it stolen. Away by Outlaw. Finding Carter Bryant. Flying in for almost a block was Nixon, but it wasn't enough to force the miss. Burke. They go at Wemby again. This time, advantage Victor. And Outlaw with a 2-handed flush. Great find there by the Spurs. Finley decides not to give it to Will Burke. Instead goes to the rim himself, drawing the foul from Dylan Harper. In the process, Irving force-fed Burke, and it leads to a turnover. We're under 10 seconds left. Victor misses the shot. Irving, now with only 3 seconds left, is going to put up something from half court. Probably could have got a slightly higher percentage look if he would have passed it ahead, but it would have been super deep 3 regardless. We've got ourselves a very good ball game here after 1. 58-56 at the break. 4 Venom in double figures. That's 4 of our 5 starters. This is the big 3 plus Jack Finley, who has not missed in this game. He's 4 of 4. Wemby and Harper, the 2 players in double figures for the Spurs. Both players have looked good. Other than Devin Vassell, their whole team has played pretty well. Weber going inside, gets around Wemby. I think he was anticipating a lefty layup there. Instead, he went with the right. Burke just making the loop and getting free of Victor Wembanyama in the process. Makes it, pumps, hands it off to Irving. He's going to have to come up with something here late in the shot clock. Gets it to bounce around and in from the free throw line. Wemby backing down Burke, spins and fires. Good rebound by Irving, playing physical inside. Now he's pushing ahead to Burke. Wemby just in a bad spot on defense, couldn't really contest it. The Venom have now built a double-digit lead. Burke skying high for a rebound off the San Antonio miss and finding a Weber wide open in the corner. Good find from the big man. He's now going to back down Wemby, going for the hook shot with the offhand. It's a good shot from Big Nasty. Castle gets Weber in a bad position off the cut. Wemby pushing the ball up for the Spurs. Finds Castle, left a little bit too much room from the corner. So Castle's drives haven't been a massive problem for us in this game, but he has hit a couple of threes as Burke misses from the post. Outlaw in transition. Banks one in. From the corner, it's Harper. They're setting up a 3-point attempt for Carter Bryant. Wide open. Drilling it to make it a 5-point game here. Down under for 7 minutes in the quarter. Nixon, pure look from 3. Inside, Bryant just around the outstretched arms of Jack Finley. Ends up drawing the foul alongside the dunk. Nixon to the rim. That is a tough shot. Fighting through the contact. Finishing the play anyway. Frozone doing some work here. He's back at it. Going right at Dylan Harper. This time slamming it home. Getting free on the second effort there. Wemby able to make easy work of Jalen Williams. Now, nearly stolen by Campbell. Still able to get in good defensive position to force the Vassell miss. J.R. Wall now going right at Harper. Using the length advantage to get the layup in. And now Harper's got J.R. Wall on him, getting the rookie to stumble a bit. And the step back jumper falls. Irving attacking, finding J.R. open for three, splashing it home. It's J.R. Wall. Avdia inside Zakarski. I'm glad this dude only plays 9 minutes a game. I mean, obviously, I'd rather see him than Wemby, but man, I really hope Zakarski doesn't become a problem for us in this series. He's played pretty well today as the Avdia baseline jumper makes it 7-point game. Last shot of the quarter, Connor Irving from the corner, good to make it 10, 91-81. Offense is looking pretty decent in this game so far. Late shot clock heave from R.J. Barrett won't fall. The Venom are running with it. Pushing ahead, Will Burke just makes a wide loop. And I guess it caught Wemby off guard because he was nowhere to be seen on that defense. Finley underneath the Castle defense for two. Barrett, tough look, won't go. Pushing ahead, Simon Campbell from three, and the sharpshooter's got another. All of a sudden, a 16-point lead now for a game that's been tight for the majority of the game. J.R. Wall flushing it down in transition. Avdia fouled him on the way up. Didn't bother J.R. Probably the best play we've seen from him so far in his rookie season. But he does give up the pick and roll on the other side. Outlaw. It's the help defense from Burke, but it leaves Steph Castle wide open for another three. Spurs hanging around here. Not really able to cut into the lead as for some reason Lonzo Ball is on the court. Don't know why that is. I made sure that we have an advanced lineup in. But I don't know why. 2K kind of struggles with that sometimes, especially at the start of fourth quarters. Gets really weird. Finley from the corner. No good, but Burke taps it up and in. Castle pumps, passes, and Carter Bryant didn't have a ton of space, but he had what he needed there. On the attack, it's off the foot of Burke, but no kick ball violation. I think his foot was planted. The big man gets a good look at three in transition. And under 3 minutes remaining, if anything's going to happen for San Antonio, it's going to have to be now. But Burke on the glass makes it 18 points. And that was ultimately enough to secure the victory. I mean, Nixon in celebration nearly socked Steph Castle in the face. But it's going to be a 10-point game when all is said and done, 121-111. The Spurs made a final push at the end, but it was far too little too late. It's a double-digit victory without Walker to kick the series off. 33 from Will Burke, 32 from Frozo Nixon. Irving got 17 points on the board. Finley didn't score a ton for us in the second half, but still did well as a starter overall. 30 points for Wemby, and then 16 for three different players on the Spurs. All right, game two, bringing out the alternates, trying to take a commanding lead. If we can go 2-0 without Jarris Walker, you got to feel really good about our ability to wrap this series up with a win. How many games it'll be, who knows, but a 2-0 lead gives you a lot of confidence here. Greg Weber from deep. Harper gets a look, and somehow it gets into the hands of Carter Bryant on the offensive rebound. Third time's the charm for the Spurs that time around, as Wemby turns the offensive rebound into a basket. Nixon, good look, top of the key, gets it to go. From the wing, Harper feeds Wemby. He's got Connor Irving on him, goes baseline, and Irving with the block. Great defense there from Connor Irving against a very tough matchup. And he gets the next shot to go, though. Irving. Down to Nixon. He's going to fire it up with the right hand. A little bit of a deep offhand floater for Nixon. I mean, not a very easy shot for him, but he made it look easy. As that one rattles out and then back in for Carter Bryant. Irving. Oh, man, you got to shoot that, Connor. I don't know what was going through his mind. I think the defense surprised him there, but he had a wide open lane to the basket. I mean, you know, that was a big problem for him as a rookie. It's not been nearly as prevalent this year, but does occasionally pop up still, and it did there. Burke. Easy deuce inside. Running the floor. Nixon pushes ahead to Connor Irving. Back to Nixon for the layup. Nice find by Connor. Got some pick and pop action here. Spinning. Finley. Shot clock winding down, but he was in no rush. He knew exactly how much time was left. Calmly laying it in for two. Wemby. Got reaching. Leaves Will Burke open. Harper's got it. He's going to isolate against Finley. Quite a bit more of an easy matchup for him than Frozone Nixon, and he shows it off there. Nearly stolen away by Vassell there. Campbell finds Will Burke in the reverse two-handed slant. 23-19 here. Outlaw. Good finish through some contact. No call. Ooh, the crossover from Harper shook Jack Finley. Got him to the basket to tie us up. Finley, catch and shoot for Connor Irving. Smooth operation. Burke from the post. That's a tough fadeaway look unless your name's Will Burke. Making it look easy. Avdia thought about taking it and probably should have. As it's stolen away by Williams. Who finds Simon Campbell, and that three is good. Man, this guy is such an impressive shooter. I mean, we've gotten good shooters as rookies before. This guy's a 71 overall, and it looks like pretty much any time he gets an open three, you're expecting him to make it. I have been truly shocked with how good Simon Campbell is, and there he is again from the corner. I mean, this guy's earned regular minutes, not only for next season, but I think even when Jarris Walker comes back, you can't take this guy out of the rotation with how he's shooting. We've got ourselves a nice little lead here heading into the second quarter, where Rocco Zakarski against Jalen Williams is probably going to be a little bit of a problem that we're just going to have to accept, although Jalen Williams gets him back. Handoff to Vassell. Good defense by Weber to get that contest, make it difficult. Irving inside, nearly stolen, but J.R. Wall with the basket. I'm so excited to see what he could be next year. Of course, we got to finish out this year, though, and hopefully get all the way to the finals and win it. As Wall picks up the block. A couple of good plays from him. Irving goes off two and slams it home with two. A pretty safe dunk there. The lead is blown to double digits. It's 40-29. Harper trying to put all the moves on Irving, and he does eventually get to the rack. Now it's Irving against Harper. He's instead going to find a man, and it's J.R. Wall off a cut. Williams to Irving, the behind the back. I don't even know if that was necessary. He could have had an open lane, but yeah, for style, I guess. Harper. Ooh, good feed. There was a lot of traffic there. Somehow finds his way into the hands of Vassell. Final seconds of the shot clock. Irving's got to come up with something. Tough midi. Fader won't go. And, I mean, right on the money. Avdia to Harper from the corner. Double-digit points here for Dylan. Nixon sprints to the spot right beyond the three-point line and gets the pass right on time, leaving him open. Harper for the response, too strong. Vassell somehow gets the rebound, and Avdia instead will be the one with the response. Weber Forced it inside. Is stolen by Wemby. Pushing ahead. Finding outlaw inside. And Williams kind of just shoved away there. Burke. He's got a lot of bodies there. Creating some traffic. So he gives it off to Nixon, who goes off of 2 and slams it right on top of Dylan Harper, who just was not in a very fun spot. Thought about going for the step back. Weber instead finds Nixon the hop step. The old reliable for Frozone. Gives him the layup. Burke. Double comes, but I mean, just overpowering Harper inside as he should. And that's a 270, or is it even 280? I can't remember. It was a big dude on the inside. Irving gets a screen. Bounce pass to Burke for 3. Money from Big Nasty. Wemby probably could have just fired it over the top of Irving there. Instead, tries to get his teammates involved off the miss. No good from Nixon, but Burke had the possession for the putback tip in. Wemby, speaking of good positioning there, I mean, let's talk about passing a guy open there. Pass put Wembanyama right to the basket where Will Burke was stuck behind him there. Now Wemby's going to isolate the spin. Trying to get by Burke, but it's not going to work. The push ahead to Irving, and then the one-footed fader from Connor Irving. Let's go. 17-point lead now. The boys have been putting in work here in the second quarter. Burke back to Nixon. Good find. And the one-handed flush. He's had a few of those already here in game 2. He's feeling it. And then there's the hop step layup, man. The most unstoppable move in 2K26. Nixon to Weber. Wide open as a man can be. That 3 makes it 20 points. Spurs need to come up with a run here. Not enough time to do it here in the second quarter, but they'll need to do it in the third. Nixon. Ooh, what a move to get by Castle and put the dunk down on his head. Harper with the response, can't get it done. So, 50 for the Spurs and 69. Nice. For the Las Vegas Venom here at the break. Ken Nixon already 20 points on the board. Will Burke 17. Those are the 2 in double figures for us. Only 3 shot attempts for Irving, but he did hit all of them there. And a couple of Spurs in double figures led by Dylan Harper. Wemby with only 10 here in the first half. Looking to get it going here. Tough fader. And he made it look casual. Irving in the post. We don't often see that. But I like how he passes out of the post. I think it's pretty good. Nixon going to isolate from the top of the key. He gets by Castle and just floats the layup off glass for 2. Wemby, too strong. Rebound goes to Finley. Nixon now with it. He'll wait for a minute. I mean, Burke was almost called for 3 seconds there. And instead he gets a layup. Inside, Nixon. I don't know how that pass got there. It looked for sure like Castle had the steal. Pick and pop. Nixon to the basket, and the dunk just keeps coming. The dunks keep coming for Frozone Nixon. Irving pulls up in transition from the mid-range. I mean, we're getting to the part of the game where the boys are just having fun out there. 84-58. I think it's looking pretty clear that we've got ourselves a 2-0 series lead after this one. I don't even know if we'll need to watch any of the fourth quarter. I don't even know if we'll need to get to the fourth quarter at this range, as J.R. Wall makes a 30-plus point difference. Outlaw gets a wide open lane to the basket. But Nixon now matched up against Outlaw. We know how that works. Might have seen a game-winning dunk with that matchup before. But I think that's all we need to see here from game 2. I mean, up by 30. San Antonio's not going to come back from that. They'll win the fourth quarter, I guess, but only by 2 points. 35-11 for Frozone Nixon. 26-19 win 5 for Will Burke to lead us in this game. Just 14 points for Connor Irving. Didn't need a ton from him in this one. 20 plus for both Harper and Wembanyama, but they didn't get enough help in this one. We've got some news ahead of game 3. This is about as early as I thought it could come. Jarris Walker not fully healthy yet, but he is able to play through what is just a couple days left, it looks like, on his injury. Now from a torn ligament to just a sore knee. And it looks like a lot of his ratings are pretty much intact. The one that's still being hurt by this is his athleticism, which is down to a B+, but B+ is good enough that I think we will play him. Now, that being said, the guy that's been inserted in the rotation because of the injury, Simon Campbell, I think he's played too well to just have his spot on the bench taken away completely. He's shooting over 50% from the 3 for us in about 15 minutes per game. So his minutes will go down a bit, but I am going to keep him in the rotation for the rest of the postseason because, like I said, I think he earned it with how he's played so far. Unless all of a sudden he stops earning it, then I'll take him out later. But I don't want to punish him for Jarris Walker coming back. But I do want to get Jarris back because we're up 2-0, but we know this Spurs team is good. And we know that as we go forward in the playoffs, our tests are still going to be tough. So I want to get him reacclimated back into the rotation because he has been very good for us. So that's going to happen here for game 3. It's nice to have the squad back together as we head on the road. Wemby gets the block at the rim. Not the guy you usually want to challenge inside unless maybe you're Will Burke, and even then it's spotty. But on a second chance, Nixon gets one to go from deep instead. Wemby beyond the arc, usually a bucket for him. But this time a miss. Walker finds Irving in transition. Nice to have you back, buddy. He's got the ball now. Outlaw on him. He's going to hand it off to Nixon, who slams it home. He kept Harper on his hip. And, you know, he got blocked by Wemby last time around, so he made sure to leave no doubt about it this time. Weber left alone in the corner. I mean, what a pass from Burke, just whipping it to him from beyond the half-court line. Nixon, baseline, layup goes. And it's 15-1 early. That's the kind of start you want. Jarris Walker gets blocked by Castle. Might need a little bit of warming up. Oh, my. Oh, my. Nixon nearly just got sent into the stands off that stumble, man. Leads to a Wemby 3. Harper in transition puts it down with 2 hands. Looks like they're finally ready to join this ball game. Irving to the rack, and it's another Wemby block. I mean, I think we learned if you're going to challenge him there, you better go up super strong. Jarris, tough jumper. Again, it might take him a second to acclimate back to playing some hoops. As Outlaw lays it in for 2. From the corner, Irving needs to come up with something. There's that step back jumper. Couldn't get it this time around, but Burke did his duty on the glass, giving us a second shot. There's Jarris Walker's first basket back on a pick and roll with Connor Irving. Wemby doing everything he can to get open, but it's not going to work. The Fortress doing his job on both ends here at the start of this game. This time just going to fire it up as if Vassell wasn't even there. And now it's the Spurs who have the post mismatch. They go with the feet outside, and Vassell drills the triple. Irving, good look off the catch. Will Burke with the board. Gives it to J.R. Wall. Finally just says, I'll do it myself. The third chance points there for Will Burke, who blocks Wemby again. Will Burke, have a quarter here. Doing some serious work here as Avdia just gets the prayer shot to go. I mean, I don't know if you're J.R. Wall, what else you can do there. Pull up from Irving looks so good. Part of me does wonder what a Connor Irving-led team would look like, because it is fun watching him go to work. But, of course, having him as your third option is super nice. J.R. Wall blocking Wemby. I'm not sure Jalen Williams gets that ball right there. The athleticism that comes with youth. Final shot of the quarter is going to be a heave from Burke, but a good quarter to start this game, allowing only 13 points to the Spurs after one. Harper trying to get San Antonio going and does there on the drive. Finley. The drive and kick out to the corner where Jay Will drills the jumper. From the baseline, Zakarski comes and gives a screen, but Harper, I don't know if he was trying to draw a foul or what, but it was just an easy rejection for Jalen Williams. He gets the three a couple possessions later, though. Nixon finds a wide open Jay Will, his second triple of the quarter. Nixon just saw an open lane to the basket and turned on the Jets to get there. I don't know if I've seen Nixon move that fast in a while. Zakarski gets the layup. Pick and roll. Burke inside. I mean, Nixon had all the space, but decided to feed the MVP. Irving from three. Makes it a 20-point ball game already. I mean, I guess there's kind of good news and bad news for the Spurs in this already being such a wide margin. The bad news is that you're down by 20 before that Wemby three, but the good news is you have plenty of time to try to fight your way back. Vassell, wide open in the mid-range, the trailing defender, Jack Finley. Trouble getting through the screen there, but Connor Irving beats everyone down the court, and Nixon saw. Harper, no good from the mid-range. Rebound snatched up by Burke. Pushing ahead, trying to find Nixon, but Harper saw it coming a mile away, and instead it's a transition basket for San Antonio. Step back in kind of an odd fashion, but it works out for Dylan Harper. This time, Wemby sets a screen, pops out beyond the three-point line. Good look, and then Castle somehow the one to nab the boards there. And Harper from the baseline misses. Wemby cleans it up, and after going up 20 points, it's been a 14-4 run by San Antonio. And Nixon putting the moves to work for a basket there, one we desperately needed to try and stop this run. Irving, that's a tough shot, and he drills it from beyond the three-point line. Jeez, Connor. Harper sneaks by Nixon off ball. I don't think Nixon was ready for that cut. Ends up fouling. Goes up. No good from three. Burke gives him another shot. This time takes it from the elbow for two. Irving in the corner off of Will Burke feed. I'm not sure why he didn't just shoot it. Tough shot from Irving again. I guess he's feeling it, though. He's taking leaning threes and weird hook shots. When you're feeling it, I guess. Final shot of the second quarter. It's Dylan Harper rattling it home from the mid-range jump shots. And that's going to make it look a little bit better here heading into the halftime break. Just 12 points will be the deficit here. 15 to lead San Antonio. Wemby with 10. Really similar to kind of how it looked at half last game. Irving led us in scoring at the break here. 15 points on some pretty crazy shooting. Will Burke might be looking at a 30-30 game, which would be kind of insane. He also has 4 blocks already in the half. Into the third quarter we go, where Carter Bryant loses the ball to Jarris Walker. He finds Will Burke for the slam. Jarris Walker playing some good team basketball there for us. Finding the MVP, the Euro step into the dunk. Will Burke trying to come play the help defense. Having some words with Wemby after the fact. Jarris. I mean, usually we try to run that play for 3. goes back into the rust. You got to probably run that play a couple steps back, but we'll take the mid-range jump shot. Burke with the hook shot. He loves that lefty hook. He's got a few baskets off of here. Castle left a bit too much space. I mean, that's kind of by design because he's so much more dangerous on the drive than the three, but he has hit several threes on us in the series. Overall, though, hasn't hurt us too bad. Burke, about as easy a layup as you'll get. Dylan Harper and Wemby, the two-man game. Good look at three from Harper. Cutting to the basket, though, was Wemby for the pick and roll. And they left him open for the putback. Second chance points off the Jack Finley miss. Steph Castle gets another look at three and drills it again. Halfway through the third now. Wemby gonna go at Connor Irving here. Connor not as tall, but he is big and strong and athletic, and it's going to be enough to get the stop there. Pushing things ahead to Walker in the corner, drilling it from deep. Jairus Walker playing pretty solidly for us in his return. Not perfect, but solid. As Wemby gets the basket. Burke from the free throw line just drives it all the way to the baskets, using the strength to his advantage. Wemby, oh man, he got Burke flying on that pump fake. Gets him an easy basket. Burke inside, lays it in. The big man going back and forth here. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Carter Bryant will get the outlaw screen and get a wide open three off of it. Drilling it. To make an 11-point game here. 73-62, under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The missed three goes to Nixon, passing it around in transition and finding the open man. When the big man runs, you reward him. Wemby gets the tough layup to go. Thought the defense was pretty solid there from Will Burke. This time he's going to drive right at Wemby, feeding it to Frozone, who was also cutting at pretty much the same time. Zakarski for the layup. Wemby getting some rest here. Jairus with the crossover, getting to the rack. There we go, Jairus Walker. Like what I'm seeing. Nixon, the bounce pass to Jalen Williams on the pick and pop, and all of a sudden, the lead just grows. You know, for a lot of these games, we're getting tight ones. I mean, this one obviously started with a 15-1 run, but then San Antonio seemed to kind of be fighting its way back, but we're back near 20 points once more. These teams, though, this Vegas team just has these two-way stretches where we're playing great defense. We're putting the ball in the hoop on the other end, taking advantage of some fast break opportunities like we're going to do here in the final few seconds of the third quarter to retake a 20-plus lead unless Barrett were to hit that jumper. Simon Campbell coming off the bench and hitting that shot. We'll hop into the Simcast here just to try and save some time because, you know, I was planning on not having too many games in this episode, probably like 2 or 3 like we did last time. But if we're going to take a 3-0 lead, we're probably hopping into a fourth game, and that's exactly what we do. 124-100 is your final. And Wemby and Harper kind of just need help. And the one thing is, you know, Harper's not shooting really super efficiently in the series either. We got 42, 21, and 8 with 6 blocks. We'll ignore those 4 turnovers. We got 24 from Irving and 21 from Frozone. In his return, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals for Jairus Walker. We missed you, bud, and we are glad to have you back. All right, win or lose, this will be the last game of this episode, though. I don't want to make it incredibly long. I want to get this out in a reasonable time frame. But we have a chance to sweep the Spurs. That sounds crazy to me for how good this team is, but it just goes to show you how important the development we had this offseason really was. And I think ultimately, although I know there were Paris Webb fans, I think it kind of shows how important even a rookie J.R. Wall just has been to our defense. I mean, San Antonio hasn't really been able to get much going offensively all series long. And again, that's kind of crazy to say with how talented this Spurs team is. But we have just been firing on all cylinders here, although the Spurs are off to a better start than they were at least in Game 3. The behind the back does not work out for Nixon, pushing ahead to Carter Bryant in the corner. And the Spurs, the ones with the hot start, they are trying to keep their season alive here. Wemby has Jarris Walker on him. That's going to be a bit too easy there for him to score. The spin into the layup, and you just got to love watching Ken Nixon isolate, man. Here he's going to pull up from the mid-range. He's feeling good here at the start of this game. Bryant, no good. But the rebound is tipped back to Wemby, who gets the second shot and makes the most of it. The screen from Will Burke, and then a bit of a delay on the roll. I like that. Ended up leaving him wide open, because I think San Antonio was expecting more of a pick and pop. Irving hit a tough three like that last game and goes back to it again here. Man, this dude's making leaning three-point shots. Watch out, NBA. Euro step, not going to work for Wemby. It's blocked by Burke. Going coast to coast is Frozone Nixon. He wants this series done with. He's playing with some assertiveness here in the first quarter. The miss by Castle, but flying in for the second chance points is Wemby. All tied up at 18 apiece here. Wemby in the post is blocked again by Burke. Locking down the painted area here in San Antonio. But Wemby gets open on the pick and roll for that possession. Burke, the drop step, easy money for the big man down low. Setting up a play for Vassell to get open beyond the three-point line. Good play, but not the result San Antonio wanted. Pushing ahead, Jarris Walker with the slam. Outlaw could not contest. Weber, quick trigger in transition. Absolute money on the jumper. Stolen away. Irving. He's got a man to beat. And he does just that. Able to get the layup over Vassell, turning the steal into points. Wemby. Tough scoop layup. Not going to go down, but Avdia cutting in for the offensive basket. Got to do a better job boxing out there. Inside the Wemby. That one was nearly stolen away by Irving on the pass. Wemby. He's got the rookie on him. Wall did get a block last game, but I think you could still pretty easily say that's advantage Victor Wembanyama. Time running out. Jack Finley going to be forced to put up a tough shot, unable to get it to go. Feel bad for Jack Finley to put him on the bench because I think he was playing pretty well as a starter, but ultimately I do think sixth man is his best role for the squad. Avdia to the basket, fouled by Nixon. Plus the layup. And Harper now an and one. First foul of the game for Jalen Williams. And the Spurs now have a 4-point lead. That is blocked by Harper. Probably got to feel good for him. Nixon's been putting in some offensive work, although, of course, Harper isn't the main guy tasked with guarding Nixon when Castle is on the court. That layup from Zakarski prompts a timeout by Las Vegas, getting the star big man back on the court, and Will Burke back to blocking shots and leading the fast break as J.R. Wall slams it home. The hook shot, absolute money once more for Burke. Avdia finds Wemby. I mean, just all alone. Burke was guarding the paint and no one was in it. This time, a great contest forces a Wemby miss. Finley in transition from three, and the Venom have the lead back. Only a couple seconds left for Avdia to come up with something, and from behind, Irving gets the block, and then just a hop step into the free throw line jumper from Frozone Nixon for the easy basket. Here he passes it to Burke. Well, back to Nixon here, this time for a three. 45-41 the score here. 4:20 left in the first half, and we get a loose foul on J.R. Wall, but it's still a good three from Jack Finley. Bryant with the answer here. Now we're talking a good competitive first half. Well, we've been expecting this entire series as Nixon gets blocked by Wemby. Bryant, another three in transition. Although I think they're just giving him two there. Just had his foot on the line. A bad pass from Burke. Stolen away. And a good find from Harper, not forcing it inside in traffic. Finding Wemby in the corner wide open. San Antonio has the lead, but not for long. As Burke drills a three of his own. Outlaw, that one's definitely inside the line. Doesn't matter anyway as he missed it. Burke finds Weber, quick trigger again in transition. He is not afraid to shoot it, and he definitely should not be. Final seconds. It's going to be Weber to take the last shot, it looks like. Going to be a tough one over Castle. No good. But Las Vegas takes a 5-point lead. That was a fun half. Very competitive back and forth. Carter Bryant playing well here. Just 1 of 6 from Dylan Harper, who's played better the last couple of games for San Antonio, especially he had back-to-back double-digit first halves. We get 13 each from Burke and Nixon, but a pretty well-rounded effort from the offense. Everyone kind of pitching in here. Close ball game. It's going to come down to the second half. Jarris Walker gets it going with the three ball. Castle pushing it ahead. Has Wemby on the wing. Good decision there with the pass. Wemby. The easy jumper. Burke takes kind of a weird pass from Nixon. Turns it into 2 points. Burke, excuse me. Got the double, leaving Weber wide open in the corner. Three ball working for Greg in this one. Has it now. Burke kind of pushed off a bit to get some space on the baseline, but ain't no whistle. We play through it. Nixon back to Irving in the corner, who drills another three. You got to guard up on Connor Irving. Running it is Wemby. A good defense by Burke to force the miss. He's trotting it up now. He's going to go right at Dylan Harper, and actually he's going to step back for a three. Looking like a guard, but he's 7'3", 270 pounds. My goodness. Only a few seconds left on the shot clock. Burke going to have to come up with something. He'll just take the shot right in Wemby's face. Drilling it. Making it look like one of the best defenders in basketball wasn't even there. This time he gets the two-handed slam. 18-point lead. I mean, there's the run. Seems to always happen at some points. The defense clamps down. The offense makes the separation. Nixon, good floating layup there. Fighting through the Castle contact. Irving finds Finley inside. Nice play there. 20 points now. Walker to Burke. Double comes. Not going to matter. You sending two smalls is not going to do you any help against Will Burke. Stolen by Finley. He's got the big man. Who is going to get the layup to go around Zakarski here? Finley to the corner. Jay Will wide open from three again. The feed to Nixon. Spinning, firing, and finishing through the foul. Nixon playing wonderful here. Finley decides to bank home a mid-range jump shot instead of go to the rim. I respect it. Williams wide open from three again. You can't just continue to leave him wide open. What happened? We had a 5-point game at the end of the half, We're going to be going in with a 23-point lead into the fourth quarter, man. This team is so incredibly good. We're making the San Antonio Spurs at full health look like easy prey here. So much so that we don't even need to watch the fourth quarter. The score would pretty much be the same, or the difference rather. 135 to 116. When all is said and done, it is a 4-0 sweep of the San Antonio Spurs, the defending champions. The team that I think many would have as the best team in basketball, and we weren't even at full strength for the first couple of games. In fact, I mean, Jarris Walker's still not 100%. 34 and 20 from Will Burke. Dude's insane. 26 from Jack Finley. So I think he's doing just fine coming off the bench now. Maybe took a game to adjust. 8-0 so far through the playoffs. The Spurs did not pose a threat to us ultimately, with or without Jarris Walker. We are the first team to advance to the conference finals this year. That'll be our second consecutive year getting there. We will face the winner of this Dallas and Utah series. I honestly don't even know who I want to advance there. Washington likely to beat New York, and then Detroit does have a 3-1 lead over Miami. Either way, I think Washington is the team coming out of the East. I think they're better than even San Antonio this year, and honestly our biggest threat. I'd feel pretty good about beating either Dallas or Utah. They're both teams that we beat in the playoffs last year, and they each got better. Dallas through the acquisition of Mikal Bridges to be that starting two guard, and Utah just kind of through their own development of their young guys, which is, of course, the way that we also got better. But I think both would be fun series, while still series I'd be confident in winning. Ultimately, I mean, I thought the Spurs were our biggest test in the West this year. They were the 4th seed. I thought that was due to injury, but maybe, Utah and Dallas are better. We'll find out next episode. I just wanted to go through some stats here at the end of this one and see kind of how we ended up playing the Spurs here. So for this team, I kind of wanted to see how we did at keeping their players from shooting. So RJ Barrett, we held to 33%. We held Dylan Harper, i.e. Nixon held Dylan Harper to 37% from the field. Vassell was under 40. Those were really the only guys that struggled from the field, but our defense has really been locked down, and shout out to Nixon. He's had some tough assignments, and he's handled them pretty well here. But in terms of our stats here, Will Burke through the postseason, or I guess this is just the quarterfinals, but let's look at the postseason as a whole. We have 29 from Burke, 28 from Nixon, 18 from Irving, 16.5 from Finley, 12 from Weber, 8.5 from Walker, smaller sample size, 7 from Wall, 7 from Campbell, 5.5 from Jalen Williams. Those are our rotation pieces here. 18 rebounds a game from Will Burke. Walker is second on the team in rebounding, so it's good to have him back there to give Will Burke some help. 8.8 assists per game from Ken Nixon is really dang good. 6.3 assists from Will Burke, 4.5 from Irving, and 4 from Weber. Steals-wise, Jarris Walker, another aspect where he's helping us out since his return. 4 players above a steal here, and then 3.8 blocks for Burke. I wish he had this kind of block production in the regular season. Not obviously to this extent, that'd be insane, but only 1.5 for him in the regular season. In terms of players struggling to shoot, I mean, Jarris Walker, who's playing through an injury, only player under 47% from the field. So we're shooting the rock, and we're doing it really, really well here. J.R. Wall is struggling from 3, but he's the only player under 37% for our team. So that's pretty dang good, and he's a rookie. He's obviously going to get better starting next season. I really have no complaints here In terms of negatives, none of our guys that actually play are negatives. Jalen Williams is our worst positive, I guess. Then J.R. Wall. Simon Campbell continues to impress as a 71 overall, playing up to a 72. But I thought he might be a problem for us in the postseason. That was one of my biggest worries of the postseason. And the fact that hasn't been the case at all has really been one of the reasons I think we're 8-0. So Jarris Walker actually has the highest plus minus, but smaller sample size. So Will Burke, Weber, Irving, who was number 1 last year. I'm surprised Nixon's so low, honestly. But yeah, I think last year, after a series with the Spurs, we really saw some defined weaknesses on the team. One of them was Jalen Williams, who I think played better, has played better in the postseason than he did last time. But the other was Paris Webb, and I think we're now a team that just makes a ton of sense, and we're winning a lot of games. We'll see if that can continue as the postseason goes along. Now it's just time to figure out who we're going to be playing. And it's officially going to be the Dallas Mavericks after they won the last 2 games of the series. They took a 2-0 lead, then Utah took 2, and then Dallas took the final 2. So 3rd straight year with a postseason matchup against the Mavericks. They beat us. We beat them. Now, I guess is the tiebreaker. I think we are definitely better than this Mavericks team. At this point, the best player in the series is going to be Cooper Flagg, who's a 98 overall. But then, I mean, I don't know how this team does this good in the sim. I don't know. This doesn't look like a 60-win game to me. But Flagg and Williamson have been an excellent combo. And I just don't think they're really enough to threaten us. Mikal Bridges was a good upgrade at the 2-guard spots. I like the addition they made there. I just don't think it's enough to really change the result from what we had last year. I'm pretty confident going into this one. And, you know, I was more worried about San Antonio. We swept them, so maybe being confident here, it's going to be some sort of reverse jinx. So you know what? I'm worried against these Mavericks. They've got Cooper Flagg. Out east is Washington and Detroit. That should be a fun series, although I do expect Washington to win. That's all I got for the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back soon with another. And I'll see you then. Fangs out.